Coming up next, a former San Diego State football player is in court to face child pornography charges.
A new mystery illness in San Diego. We hear from doctors coming up.
Contaminated waters from the Tijuana River, not only in our oceans, but also in our air.
Spring is in the air here at the Carlsbad Flower Fields. I'll show you what's blooming.
And your cup of coffee never looked so elegant or tasted so rich. The Best Friends bringing Turkish coffee to Kearney Mesa.
CBS 8 News live at 6 starts now.
A former San Diego State football player pleaded not guilty in court today to possession of child pornography allegedly found on his iCloud account. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Jesse Pagan in for Marcella Lee. Nowlin Iwuliko is one of 3 former Aztecs football players named in a lawsuit accused of raping a teenager. As CBS 8's David Goffredson reports, officers say they stumbled upon the child pornography while investigating those accusations.
Enter not guilty plea, denied a special allegation.
Nowlin Iwuliko just turned 20 last week. The former San Diego State defensive lineman is now facing a felony count of possessing child pornography on his iCloud account. He pleaded not guilty in downtown court and is out on $200,000 bail, according to Deputy District Attorney Francesca Valerio.
Our office, as well as the San Diego Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, take these crimes very seriously. This count also incorporates what would require him to register as a sex offender for lifetime.
Iwuliko is one of 3 former SDSU football players accused of raping a 17-year-old girl at an off-campus party in 2021. The 3 teammates were named in a lawsuit filed by the teen, which is ongoing. In December, the DA's office said no criminal charges would be filed. Iwuliko admitted to having consensual sex with the teenager, according to San Diego police search warrants. Defense attorney Mark Carlos said his client has no criminal history and is no longer playing football.
He had to leave San Diego State. He is working on putting himself back together again, getting back into school, really getting his life back on track.
In July, while serving a search warrant on Iwuliko's cell phone, officers stumbled upon 38 videos depicting child pornography, according to an arrest warrant issued last month. Prosecutors do not believe Iwuliko produced the videos himself. 7 of the 38 videos were already in law enforcement databases.
There's nothing with regards to distribution being charged. He's only been charged with possession.
The judge ordered Iwuliko to have a 4th Amendment waiver as his criminal case goes forward.
What it means is that a police officer or law enforcement, they can ask him for his phone or computer and they don't have to get a warrant to search it. So if he's not committing any crimes, it's not really an issue.
If convicted on that single felony count, Iwuliko faces up to 3 years in prison. He'll be back in court on May 18th. At the downtown courthouse, David Goffredson, CBS 8.
Thank you, David. Tonight, a new push for legislative reform that would force people experiencing mental illness to get help. The current law is at least 50 years old. It says the only way to force someone to get help is if they are a danger to harm themselves or someone else. Senate Bill 43 would expand that standard to include people who cannot tend to their own personal protection because of a mental health or substance abuse disorder.
This is not about additional bureaucracy. This is about actually being effective and taking care of the problem that all of us see, all of us acknowledge, all of us are frustrated by. 50 years of doing it the wrong way can't continue.
Opponents argue this law goes against people's constitutional rights.
People across San Diego and the country say they're getting sick with runny noses, sore throats, coughs, and more. But it might not be COVID, and it might not even be the flu. CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes is live at Rady Children's Hospital talking with doctors to find out what the mystery illness could actually be. Kirsten?
Yeah, that's right, Jesse. These days, whenever anyone gets sick, everyone asks, is it COVID? You just mentioned some of the symptoms, but doctors here and all across our area say there have always been viruses that get you sick, and we all get better. But for one family, this mystery illness ran through their entire home.
We were having dinner one night, and my son was eating dinner, and he just threw up on the dining room table.
Dominique Kirby says whatever this mystery illness is, it was in and out of her home within a week. But everyone in the family caught something, and everyone's symptoms looked different.
It was like just my son one night Then the next day it was me and my daughter. And then the next day it was my husband. Thankfully, nobody got reinfected. We all got it one time, and then we went through what our symptoms, and then we were done with it.
Everybody's kind of sick. Is there something going around?
There's always something going around 365 days a year, but more so in the winter, and we see it traditionally every year.
We talked to local doctors at Sharp, like Dr. Jotu Sandhu, who says you might think it's COVID.
But no, it's not it, because there's all those other viruses that have been out there for years and that are always out there, and now it's just catching people's attention.
There are some viruses like adenovirus that can cause respiratory symptoms as well as gastrointestinal symptoms, and every virus sometimes affects different people in different ways.
Dr. Alice Pong at Rady's Children's Hospital says because symptoms vary, we have to remain vigilant if you or someone you love is sick for too long.
Some of these viral infections can lead to secondary bacterial infections, and so if you have persistent symptoms, that's when you should go see your doctor.
If your symptoms are getting worse past about 7 to 10 days, or if you're at about 4 days of fever.
And when it comes to figuring out if it's the flu or COVID, there's a newly FDA-approved test designed to be used at home that tests for both. Dr. Sandhu says that's a step in the right direction.
So whenever I see people who are really sick and who really present with kind of a viral syndrome type picture, I just go ahead and order both because I think it's best to rule out both of those serious viruses.
So what should you do if you're not sick enough to go to the doctor, but everyone is working on feeling better? Dominique says as soon as you can, get to cleaning and disinfecting. And after that,
the other thing I like to do is open the windows and get some fresh air in the house to try and get the, as my grandma would say, try to get the sickness out and bring the clean air in.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that last tip. Let that fresh air in and get whatever the icky air is out. Okay, so let's talk about some of these symptoms. If you have a runny nose for about a week or two, that is normal. If you have a cough or maybe a sore throat, that's also normal this time of year. Doctors say some patients, kids or adults, may or may not have a fever, so, check for that. But they say the best rule of thumb is those things that we were doing to prevent getting COVID-19, those are still the same things we can do to protect ourselves from whatever virus is going around right now, because it's definitely going around and people are definitely getting sick. Back to you, Carlo and Jesse.
Detectives still want your help finding whoever killed a South Bay mom in front of her home more than 20 years ago. Rogue bullets hit 39-year-old Cynthia Denise Peppers in the face during a gang shooting in National City in December 2002. 3 gang members who were targets standing nearby survived their wounds. Detectives say 2 cars were involved, a red or orange Nissan 280 or 300ZX and a gray Honda Accord or Acura. Call the District Attorney's Office or Crime Stoppers. That phone number is at the bottom of your screen, 888-580-8477, if you happen to have any information.
The death of a schizophrenic inmate in San Diego Central Jail last year is now being called a homicide, blamed on insufficient care by jail staff. Last March, 46-year-old Lonnie Rupard of National City was found unresponsive in his jail cell. He later died at the hospital. The medical examiner's preliminary autopsy report listed the causes as pneumonia, malnutrition, and dehydration, with a viral COVID infection as a contributing factor. Within the last couple of hours, though, we got new details from the medical examiner's report, which cites, quote, insufficient delivery of care, saying Rupard had difficulty caring for himself due to his schizophrenia. The report adds that Rupard was violent toward jail staff who tried to help. A homicide investigation and internal review are underway.
13 counties in California are in a state of emergency stemming from the winter storms. Los Angeles County and San Bernardino County are on the list in Southern California.
Meantime, Northern California is digging out as well and dealing with the aftermath of heavy snowfall. Steve Large has more tonight from Placer County, where the community of Forest Hill was hit hard.
Well, this is a community that is used to extreme weather like this, but even so, people who live here say this is as bad as they've seen it for years.
Honestly, I just gasped, and I don't normally gasp. That's not something I do. And I just saw it, like, ooh.
Pastor Daniel Cordova describes the spectacular sight. his church building transformed into debris.
There are trusses that go over the top of the whole thing.
Heavy snow weighing down the massive rooftop, forcing the collapse, the roof caving in overnight. No one was hurt. This is a video of a recent sermon inside the Calvary Chapel Church, showing it before the damage. These photos show the aftermath inside. Pastor Cordova took these snapshots of the wreckage, the cross still clinging to a wall.
I was passing through here today looking at some things and saw our big cross on our front wall, and I thought, if I don't believe in resurrection now, I should get out of the business,
The church roof collapse followed a deadly Forest Hill porch collapse a day earlier. An 80-year-old woman killed standing beneath it. Heavy snow has hit this Forest Hill community hard. People who live here are now in survival mode.
I've never seen it this bad. This is, it's pretty horrible.
It's like way too much. Limbs are snapping. The lady passed away. There's trees down everywhere on cars. It's incredible, it really is.
PG&E crews have been out in full force trying to restore the power to this community cut off by downed trees.
This would be evidence that you should probably clear your roof off.
Now, a pastor seeking a new place for his parishioners. His church in shambles, his spirit unbroken.
We haven't been able to meet in here because of the weather, because of, several feet of snow. And so we're just grateful that nobody was in it, not even a chance of people being in it.
And Pastor Cordova says that he doesn't know where he'll be holding his church services this coming Sunday. He may have to resort to giving his sermon via Zoom.
Meantime, nearly 30,000 people are still without power in PG&E's Sierra division, and Caltrans says westbound lanes of Interstate 80 are open again for cars. Officials, though, are still stopping westbound big rigs at the Nevada state line and on the eastbound side at Applegate.
And in San Bernardino County, the roof of a grocery store collapsed under the weight of the snow. It crushed pretty much everything. Fortunately, no one was inside at the time. This happened at the Goodwin and Sons Market in Crestline. The owners say they had been hoping to help people who were stuck in their homes. Still ahead, the U.S. steps up its game when it comes to preventing cyber attacks.
Plus, the next state possibly banning drag artists from performing in public.
Final moments of that sunlight out there, seeing some snow across our mountains. This is the view from Palomar Mountain that received 22 inches with the last storm system. We're going to take a break for a little while. All those details are coming up.
Up next, a verdict in the trial of a disgraced lawyer charged with murdering his wife and son.